FM 94, The Dark. It is that time again. It's time to get to know a band we play here on The Dark. And tonight on the phone, I'm talking with Eli from the band Ashes from Stone. And you probably heard about this band because they are part of the kickoff to Summer Bash going down at the West Side Bar on June 2nd. They are just one of the 4 bands that are going to be down there. And first of all, Eli, thanks so much for joining me tonight on The Dark. And by the way, welcome to The Dark for the first time. How are things going for you?
Well, I've been in the dark many times before, but now I have a formal introduction to it, so I'm glad I have the pleasure of speaking to you as well. So I'm glad to be here. Glad, I love your guys' station, so this is an honor.
Hey, let's talk about, we'll talk about the kickoff to Summer Bash coming up in a little bit, but the reason I wanted to get you on tonight is because I wanted to get people to know more about this band, kind of the history of the band, and kind of get people pumped up, excited about this band. When Eric Modry from Strange Days said, hey, I can hook you up with some bands to help out with this show coming up, he had mentioned you guys, and I'm like, okay, I haven't heard of the band before, so I listened to some of the stuff, and I was like, wow, this is amazing stuff. How come these guys aren't out there in a bigger setting already? Let's talk about your band in that. How did this band all come about? Give us the history of it a little bit.
So, basically, my singer Andrew and myself, we met up through Craigslist probably about 6 years ago. And so we were doing another project that wasn't really going anywhere. We did that for about 6 months, and just there are conflicts and politics and all that crap. So anyways, we hooked up with Tommy, who was our original drummer, and he had done an EP with a band from Texas called The New Revolution. So if any of your listeners, if they ever were fans of like Sirius XM, maybe 2009, 2010-ish, they'd probably heard of them. So anyways, my drummer Tommy did a demo with them, so we had like five or six songs ready to go. And Andrew was impressed. And he's like, "Hey, man, we got to go try out with I want to keep working with you. Let's go try out with this guy Tommy, and see if we click." And immediately, all of us got and we're still really close friends to this day, obviously. But it was just immediate. We just clicked, and so basically we started jamming. Eventually, that led to an EP that we did. We only took one of the songs that Tommy did, actually. We decided that it just wasn't fitting the style we were, the direction we were headed. So it ended up being the song Ride, which is off our first full-length record, Riddles and Riots. So we ended up doing a demo at the beginning of 2013. It was a little 5-song demo. It was like $900, and we basically engineered and produced it ourselves. It was pretty much, we took a page from Metallica or some other bands that record live in the studio, and so it was rough, but hey, it got us through most of 2013, and then first part of 2014, and so we went through 2014, and we recorded a couple more songs with Ian Combs, who's a phenomenal producer down here in the cities, and it ended up being this. These are both off the Riddles record as well, but we released them as singles like a year before that, Illusion and Mine on Mine. So we kind of carried those 2 songs through 2014, and we had a live guitar player named Chris that joined us. And so anyways, at the end of 2014, he left, and we brought on Mike Mountain, who's actually the lead singer of a band called Standing Alliance now. And at the time, he was doing a band called Fifth Hour, which was a pretty good act down here in the cities. And so basically we ran as a 4-piece into 2015, and then we recorded the Riddles and Riots record with Ian again, and did our CD release show at the Myth, and had really good reviews on that. Just didn't a lot of bad luck in timing. Our drummer Tommy, him and his wife were having a kid, midway through 2015, so he decided to step down from the band, which is totally understandable. So we had our friend Joey from the band AIS. I know I'm bringing up a lot of bands here, but
yeah, that's fine.
Joey from the band AIS filled in on drums. He also did the recording on, I think, about 6 or 7 of the songs on Riddles, so he was really familiar. It was easy transition to bring him in. And so he played live with us the rest of 2015. And then we went through another lineup change at the beginning of 2016. Joey decided to leave. after we had signed a contract with Dark Eyes Entertainment with David Miller. Not sure, if you're personally familiar with him, but David runs like a karaoke company down here in the cities, and he's pretty knowledgeable. He's been in the music business before. So, anyways, me and Andrew signed a contract, to do 2 and possibly 3 records. So we got one of those down, but so we're under going into 2016. We're under contract, and so, but like I said, Joey stepped down. So it was me, Andrew, and Mike, and then we brought in Craig, who was doing Sin 7 at the time. That's another really good Twin Cities band. Mm-hmm. And Dalton, who was in another, he was a younger guy that was in a project called 40 Feet Down, which was a hardcore band out of the cities. And so we brought those guys in. So then we ran, most of 2016 as a 5-piece. And then basically had a hiatus for probably about 9-10 months. And basically, me and Andrew wrote what became most of the Moulin Lobby record, the record that came out just last year. And so we took a break from shows and took a break from everything, and we just focused on writing. Craig ended up leaving the band. He's now with a band called The Shattered Soul down in Memphis, doing really well for himself. He's doing producing, and so happy for him. Like I said, Mike's the lead singer of Standing Alliance now. He left the project. And Dalton is actually still our drummer. So Dalton's our drummer. Anyway, so we and Andrew wrote the Moulin Lobby record, and that was released September of 2017. And we did our C-release show at the Amsterdam Bar. And yeah, for the most part, we've gotten really positive reviews. I feel like it's we had a lot of growth on this record. You can see, our musicianship, vocals, harmonies, guitar work, bass, drum. Everything I feel is just a step up in this last record. And so I'd mentioned Dalton is our drummer, and me and Andrew, and then we brought in Jay from the band Fixated. It's not from your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
So if Jay's listening, he's from Little Falls, and so that's basically our lineup right now. It's 4 of us. So it's kind of a rocky road to get here, but I mean, nonetheless, we're here, and things are going to start picking up this summer. We got some gigs going on. Eric from Strange Days is helping us book, so we're really heading in a positive direction. And I think it's the most positive me and Andrew have felt about the project since Mike and Tommy were in the band back in 2015. So I mean, I think everybody's excited, everybody's pumped up. Music, we just released a music video for one of our songs off the Moulin Lobby record called Evil Minds, and gotten really good reviews on that music video. And that came out probably a month and a half ago, I'd say.
Right. We spin that here on The Dark, too. Who's the female that's in that?
That's actually Nicole from the band My Memory Remains.
Okay.
Really good band out of Eau Claire. And Andrew was, when we originally wrote that, Andrew, I had brought up, like, hey, I'd like to get an outside writer for the song. And so so I found Lucy Sykes, who was a hip-hop artist that moved up here from the South. And I found her on Craigslist. And I was like, hey, would you help write this? And I sent her the original idea. And hers was more like Mary J. Blige kind of influenced. And, I was digging it, but, Andrew was a little more like, I want to take it more in a kind of a rock direction kind of thing. So, and he had been a fan of Nicole's for a couple years. We had played a gig with them, and he was in love with their voice. And he's like, yeah, I'd love to have her on the track. So he messaged her, set it up, and I couldn't imagine anybody else on the track. Like, she's got a phenomenal voice. And if you haven't seen her band or heard her band, go check them out. They're on Spotify, YouTube. My Memory Remains, really good band. But yeah, so really positive on everything, the way everything turned out. Artwork, that was interesting to say the least. We went through a couple different drafts. Actually, at one time, the cover of the Moulin Lobby record had a gargoyle. It's just, it ended up, and I don't know. I have my own interpretation of it. Andrew, he's the brains behind that, but I just picture, an emperor saying, "Come and take it," and he's holding up the head of a vanquished leader. And so that's kind of the way I interpret our record cover. But I think it looks really cool.
Absolutely.
It's got some really cool blue and green colors in there. So, but yeah, I like the way everything is headed, man. I like the way everything is going, and just hoping that 2018 is the year we get. Well, I should mention too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another song off our record, POW.
Yes. Actually
reached number 7 on the digital rock charts. Which was, I thought it was a joke. I showed Andrew, and he thought it was, he was like, "There's no way, man." We're kind of skeptical. We're a struggling, up and coming band. It's just kind of, all right. But no, we saw the charts. I'm like, no, I have a picture of it, and I see 30 Seconds to Mars. I see Starset. I see a lot of our favorite acts and great bands, and I'm like, you got to be like, that's just cool. But yeah, it reached number 7, and so we're hoping more people check that tune out. I'm not sure. Did you guys spin it on your station?
Oh yeah,
too?
oh yeah.
I know you said Evil Minds.
Yep. Well, we spin them both. We spin POW and also Evil Minds too. So I had to get you guys to give me a clean version because I think there was a swear word in there. So, but that's okay.
Yeah. Man, no. Ian, our producer, he suggested that the first time. He's like, because. The first record, Ian was like, "You should clean this up," and Andrew's set in his own ways. He's an outlaw. He does his own thing. He's like, I need to get points across, and
right.
That's how he does it. But the second record, we kind of talked him off the ledge a couple times. I know Mola Labe, the title track is clean. Alter Ego, which is another song.
Yeah, we spin that here.
Released as a single. That's also clean. So there's a couple clean ones. Evil Minds is clean too. There's a couple clean ones on there, but
it's all right.
Andrew's got to use it for emphasis sometimes, So we gotta try to censor him, but let him do his lyrical thing at the same time.
Well, let's make sure we don't censor him coming up on June 2nd at the West Side Bar here in Little Falls. No, he can be full throttle, whatever he wants to do. That's right. That kickoff to Summer Bash. We're talking to Eli, by the way, from the band Ashes from Stone. They're one of the 4 bands that are going to be rocking down at the West Side Bar. And you mentioned it. You're from the Twin Cities. You're a Minnesota band. I guess give me some background a little bit of what's happening down there in the local rock scene. I've been away from at least the Twin Cities area for the past maybe 15 years or so. What is the scene like down there right now for rock? Okay, that was honest. I know, just right away that cringe, and I'll be honest with you, it's changed, hasn't it? It's changed a lot, hasn't it?
It has, and it's just the different style. Like what was in 15 years ago, kind of that post-grunge Nickelback sound. That was the sound, and even 10 years ago, it was more pop punk. Who am I thinking of? They had that song, "Everything Is All Right," or "Quiet Drive." I think it was "Quiet Drive."
Okay.
What was another band I'm thinking of? But yeah, that was the sound 10 years ago, and now it's a lot of screaming and 8-string guitars, and that's kind of like the big sound that's going on, kind of that post-hardcore sound,
right?
Kind of borderline death metal. But now, right now, in like the style that we play, there's a ton of good bands. There's a lot of bands that I listen to and that I respect a lot. Firefight, Via,
yep.
Obviously Cold Kingdoms. They're killing it. I mean, there's a ton. Eon, a new band with a couple members from some previous acts. Like it's kind of a super group, but they're awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's some really good music and bands that like ourselves that have managed to stay afloat. It's just there's always that hope, like, hey, maybe the tide comes back in, maybe it cycles around again. Because right now, EDM is huge.
Right, it is.
Alt rock is huge. Just electronical stuff. Just how you can. I'll use an example from our style, I guess. Starset. I have nothing but complimentary things to say about them. Like they are what defines, I would say, hard rock in 2018. They kind of incorporate the keyboard and the synth. I think it's unique how they incorporate live. They bring in the violinist and the cello player. and then they've got their rock, the metal rock band behind that. I think that's really cool. But they would be what I would define as like what a modern band that does the hard rock stuff. That's kind of like the standard right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, our scene, it's not where it was, but I mean, it doesn't mean there's not good acts, and it's a struggle getting people out to shows. I know myself, like I work a lot, just on my personal end. I do the garbage. Just FYI, if you ever need to throw away a bed for you, just put it out there. If anybody ever needs a bed thrown away or a couch thrown away, I'm your guy.
Hey, I tell you what, if you do garbage, I mean, I know a bunch of garbage guys, and they have like all this stuff from people that throw away, and they've made their own Taj Mahal basically out of it.
I found, hey.
Is that what you've done too?
Found a gnome. Hey, where do you think I got this cell phone that I'm talking to you on? Come on.
Is that one of those track phones?
Yeah.
The old school flip ones? Oh, boy. We're talking to Eli. The band is, once again, Ashes from Stone. They're going to be at the West Side Bar coming up on June 2nd for our kickoff to Summer Bash. We talked about kind of the local scene down there. How about the national scene in that? Is there anybody really right now that's kind of helped you guys out a little bit, or are you still kind of in that infancy stage, I guess, getting out there?
I would say we're more in the infancy stage.
Okay.
I know, I know Saving Abel. We've done a couple shows with them, and they've been cool, and we've drank. My singer was smoking the green a little bit with them, but so we've hung. I guess that would be like them, and then Who Was Stank when we played with them a couple years ago at St. Croix Casino. We kind of hung out with them a little bit. Our drummer Tommy got kind of tight with their singer Doug.
Yep.
But I mean, there's been a few national acts that we've kind of buddied up with or drank with or whoever, but not. I would say nobody's taken us under their wing.
Right.
Maybe. I know, like I said, I had mentioned him earlier, but Eric from Strange Days,
yep.
And he's an integral figure. He does a lot more behind the scenes in the cities and the areas, and I think people realize in terms of putting shows together and for what his band does. But I would say, like I had a phone call with him for about an hour and a half, and I was super impressed. I loved his energy, his enthusiasm, and just kind of like, hey, I want to help you guys out. So I think. And they're more of a veteran band than we are, so I greatly appreciated that. Kind of giving some pointers and what we can do to try to up our product and up our game, and so I want to return the favor to younger bands. So I think
Right.
I know we're not super high up the pedestal yet, but I'm looking for younger up and coming bands that. Or even smaller, smaller than us, that we can put on a bill with us and help them out. Like, hey, we're going to Sioux Falls, South Dakota on Friday, for example. We got a gig out there, and there's a band called Calling Grace, and they're making a name for themselves in that area. But I feel like playing with us, it's just I think we're a little bit older than they are. Just kind of like show them how you show up. How you show up at a venue, like how you go all out with your stage set. We have a pretty intricate live show. If anybody's ever seen us live, we have smoke, we got lights. I mean, it's quite interesting, but try to pay it. Yeah, try to pay it back. Pay it forward even.
Right.
Just help them out in the hopes that maybe a veteran band, like I don't know if Stained ever got back together.
Yeah.
They had an opening for, hey, we have 8 tour dates open. You guys want to buy onto a tour or something?
Right.
And we decided. I would expect that they would. We got close with them, that they would kind of show us like, this is how it's done. This is how it's done. And maybe in turn do that with younger bands. Show them how it's done. And
absolutely. You mentioned like a band like Stain in that, so obviously you must be a big fan of Aaron Lewis and the guys.
Oh, absolutely.
I am too, and obviously
I love his country stuff, his rock stuff, his metal stuff, everything.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes it's not the easiest, but even getting into some of these festivals too, even if you're the early first maybe band out there, at least gets you seen a little bit known, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The way I look at it is, it's never a bad opportunity. We haven't done as many live shows as I've wanted to do, just on my personal end, but that's sacrificing being part of a team and a band, what works best for the band, But in terms of like the shows that are available to bands of our size or our peers, yeah, take any slot you can get. I know for us personally, like we would have had to pay for. Here's a little secret, I guess. There's a $400 buy-on. If you haven't done Rockfest before, or you're a smaller band, it's about a $400 buy-on
right.
to be able to play your set at Rockfest.
Yeah.
So we were actually going to finally do that this year and kind of drop the ball on that. But anyways, so yeah, so you take the 11:30 slot, you take the 12 slot, and you try to do the best with it that you can.
Right.
You know,
and that's the thing. I mean, obviously, we have listeners listening right now to this, and of course, we're talking to Eli from the band Ashes from Stone. I don't think people realized how much of a business this thing truly is. I mean, you're buying a lot. It's like they think you're rock stars and you're just getting paid all this kind of money and everything.
Oh,
it's not the case at all, is it? It's a grind.
It really, and like I said, when we, for the most part, because I try to hold out so much respect for the bands that are like kind of our peers and our size, but are actually, doing the national tours.
Yeah.
Like the City of the Week. They're a really good band from the cities. They're all over the place all the time. Sleep Signals, really good band, guys I like. They're all over the place all the time. And I mean, they're struggling. It's just, but I don't know. I kind of look at it where I would prefer. And this goes out to anybody that's in a band that's listening that maybe is on a smaller level too. I would hit up the smaller markets.
Right.
I would hit up the Aberdeen, South Dakotas of the world. I would hit up the Waterloo, Iowas of the world. I would hit those up because there's a good chance you're the best thing, and that's not even being arrogant. I mean, there's a good chance you're the best thing in town that night.
Absolutely.
They're used to cover bands, or they're used to kind of struggling solo musicians, or rock bands that just jam in their garage. Like they're not used to professional acts coming through that are original. Like you bring a couple of them. You bring an example from the cities. You get a Sleep Signals, Ashes from Stone, Fixated bill to come to Rapid City, South Dakota. I mean, come on. If you're a fan of rock and you want to see something live and you don't get an opportunity to a lot because the big bands don't show up in your town, well, then take the next best thing.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Well, that's what we're doing right here, Eli. This is exactly what we're doing. This kickoff to Summer Bash thing. And that's the same thing. We are that small market station we're not going to get the Five Finger Death Punch, the Shinedowns, the Seethers, all them to come through here. But we'll get some of the, we had City of the Week here last year. They performed at the West Side Bar. We'll get some of them.
Those guys are great.
Yeah, they're great. And the great thing about the smaller bands, up-and-coming bands like yourself, is when you're done playing your set, you're not going to be stuck up in the corner and just leave. You're going to hang out the whole night and hang with these people and have fun.
Yeah, hey, best place to find us is at, having a drink, or sitting at the merch booth, or pack it. Like I'm really a stickler about packing up stuff because when we first started out, things got lost and things were, I don't know if they were stolen, but I would just say lost, and so I really wanted to clean that up. So my main thing, and no disrespect to the other bands, like if we're not out for their set or out, right away with fans or whoever. But my big thing is to get the stuff in the trailer or get the stuff in the vehicle, lock it up, and then kind of compartmentalize,
right.
Or at least send our singer Andrew to the front because he's the spokesperson for the band pretty much.
Right.
So that's probably the best way to go about. But yeah, absolutely. After the show on the 2nd, hey, I think we're opening that show. If you guys like our set, anybody out there listening that's attending the show, you want to come hang out with me, Andrew, and Dalton's 19, so he can't drink, and my guitar player Jay, he doesn't really drink either.
Right.
But if you want to drink with me and Andrew, we'll be up at the bar having some fun, and
absolutely,
you're more than welcome to join us.
Hey, let's talk about the show coming up. Obviously, it is on June 2nd, and we actually added another band, King Ransom, which is kind of a local band here. So they're going to actually kick things off at 6:30. Then you guys, I believe, are going to go on around 8 o'clock. Strange Days about 9:30, and then about 11 o'clock we'll have Black Light District. So 4 bands. The best thing about this whole thing, a couple things. First of all, it's outdoors. It's going to be on a great stage, sound systems all set up, ready to go. The second thing, it's a free show. So not many times can you go to a free show to see 4 bands, can you?
Well, I have to look up. Was it King Ransom? You said?
Yeah. Yep. They're an older band.
I have to look them up. But I know I can verify for Blacklight District, and I can verify for Strange Days because I've jammed out to them. We played shows with Strange Days. Like, you're getting a hell of a bill for free.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, when were we going to see out there on June 2nd with you guys, the band Ashes from Stone? What should we expect in your close to hour set that you guys got going on?
Well, I might. Depends on the day. Depends on how I'm feeling. But sometimes I put on my war paint, as I call it.
Okay.
Guys in the band get a kick out of it, but so I dress up like I look like Guile from Street Fighter, kind of crazy. But Andrew's got So Andrew's got his look. Andrew usually wears a Warren Star vest, and he's got his Andrew's got a clean look, ball cap, Warren Star vest, and then Jay will pretty much be in that kind of a look too, and
right.
Dalton's got his patented backwards flat bill cap. So that'll be the appearance. So then you're like, oh, I know that's Ashes from Stone. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you'll see the banners. We kind of have the logo from the new record on each of the banners, and then you'll see it on the kick drum too.
Right.
And then you'll see some fog and some lights because our lights guy Uncle Steve is he's kind of a sorcerer of sorts with the lights, and so you might, and especially at night, that's going to look really cool. I think you said we go on about 8:30.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Sun's going down. You guys are going to enjoy the lights a lot if you haven't seen us before. In terms of a set, probably play Evil Minds. I think that would be a smart idea.
Yeah.
We'll probably see if we can get Nicole.
I was just going to say, can you bring Nicole up for the night?
We will ask her.
Yeah.
We'll definitely ask her.
That'd be awesome.
I know that I'm gonna be taking a break on one of the songs because our roadie Daniel. He's been a loyal soldier of ours, and so I want to give him an opportunity. So he's going to come up and play bass on one of the songs, and
nice.
probably got some more shenanigans, at some point. But that's what people should expect. And of course we gotta play Zero Sum because that's the banger off the new tracks, off the new record. So definitely got to play that song as well.
Awesome. Hey, I know we got to get going here, but let's. If people want more information about the band Ashes from Stone, maybe pick up some of your stuff. How can they get a hold of you?
Well, they can visit the Facebook page. Obviously Facebook.com/Ashes from Stone. Visit us on Twitter. It's the same thing, Ashes from Stone. Our website's down. We've kind of been trying to get a new one up. I know it's been down for a while, but trying to get a new website up. It'll look a lot cleaner, have the merch, have info on us, and have, exclusives. We're trying to make it, trying to promote that as well. I would say but the best place to find us is through Facebook and then Facebook Messenger.
Sounds good.
I've had random people send us stuff on Facebook Messenger, and we've responded to them right away. So
awesome.
Probably the best place to contact us.
Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to June 2nd. Looking forward to meeting you guys up here and looking forward to you to tear up that stage and rock it. Don't tear it up too much because Strange Days and Blacklight District still need to play, but you can tear up for a little bit, okay?
Hey, they can take the table scraps. They'll take what's left. Might burn up. Might burn a hole through it or something.
That's okay. Okay.
Go Ramstein with it and break out the flamethrower or something. We'll leave plenty for them. They'll do their thing and we'll do our thing, and everybody's gonna have a great time.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Once again, that is the kickoff to Summer Bash coming up on June 2nd, West Side Bar. Food starts at 5, music at 6:30, and these guys, Ashes from Stone, probably going to be on around 8 o'clock or so you can check them out. We're going to play Evil Minds right now. You okay with that?
After consulting with myself, I would say yes.
Okay.
Go ahead and play that.
Thanks a lot, Eli. We'll see you coming up here in a couple of weeks, okay?
Yeah, you too, brother. Take care.
Once again, that's Eli from the band Ashes from Stone. Here is Evil Minds, one of the songs you're going to be hearing out at the kickoff to Summer Bash, June 2nd, the West Side Bar. It's on the Dark. It's on FM 94.